Hey guys, welcome to ESL TV for our second day, the semi-finals and grand final from the RaidCall EMS 1 Counter-Strike Go Cup number 2. My name is Joe Miller, and joining me is Mr. Paul Challoner, as you can see at the bottom of the screen.
Paul, not very well, Challoner. Paul, full of cold, Challoner.
I've got a heartburn today. I had a Chinese earlier, and it's
form
destroying
today,
me.
Really bad form.
Nomming the Rennies down as we go, but hopefully we'll be all right with that one.
Indeed.
So yeah, we're into the semi-final phase, Paul. We had, I'd say, some good games yesterday. They weren't amazing.
No.
They weren't amazing, but, you know, we got to this point, and hopefully today will provide that amazingness that we're looking for.
Yeah, last week was interesting throughout the bracket stage. Yesterday, not quite so much. Just a quick recap for you of the teams that came through. Ninjas in Pyjamas will play 3D Max, who've had a much better week this week. They were awful last week, by their own admission. They'll play in the second semi-final, but first up is Epsilon Razor, who were last week's winners, against Imaginary Gaming, who are sort of quietly going about their business. Managed to beat Very Games yesterday. I wouldn't say that was a massive shock, but it was a shock nevertheless. You know, Very Games are possibly the second best team in the world if you want to look at the rankings over the last few months of the LANs, and to see Imaginary coming through will have given them a lift as well. And yeah, I've heard the arguments about it's online, doesn't count. Well, it still does, because there's money up for grabs, and there's a place in the final up for grabs for these two teams as well. So Epsilon Imaginary is our first game. Imaginary, you know, are up against it. I think, you know, everyone will look at this bracket and they'll go, this is an all-Swedish final.
Yeah, I think so as well. We can actually look at the brackets here and go through them a little bit. Obviously, we have NIP on the top there. We watched them beat overrated individuals yesterday. They then went on to take down Alternate, obviously having a bye in that first round. First of all, 3D Max, on the other hand, also had a bye. They took down Dot Pixel 16-13, close one there. Then 16-13 again versus Lowland Line. So not been an easy route so far. I'll tell you what, it's not getting any easier when they go up against Ninjas in Pyjamas in that next round.
No.
So on the bottom side then, Epsilon Razor beat Evercate 16-1, swept them under the carpet, but that wasn't the case in round 2. 21-18, going into overtime against Kick from Portugal, and then the game that we saw finally yesterday was their 16-13 victory against N Faculty. Imaginary, on the other hand, they've had a bit of a French bracket so far.
They
took
let's
down
just
War
beat
Legend.
all the French teams on the way through.
Yeah, took down War Legend in the first round, 16-6. Took down Very Games, 16-12. And that sets us up with Imaginary versus Epsilon. And Ninjas in Pyjamas versus 3D Max as our games for tonight. And then obviously we'll be moving through into the best of 3 grand final.
Oh yeah. One of the other things you should know about tonight as well is that all the rankings can be found on csgo.raidcall-ems1.com. So go and check out the rankings as well. They're very important because each cup has its own money and its own points allocated to it. But there are 4 cups through this first season, and at the end of those 4 cups, we'll take the top 16 teams, we'll put them in a playoffs, we'll bring it to you, and the top 2 from each of the 4 groups will go through to the LAN finals.
LAN finals.
Love LAN finals for CS.
Good old LAN finals. Yep. It actually looks like we're pretty close to getting ourselves underway here. So
cool.
I'm going to throw us into game. I'm just going to get some...
Don't forget as well, by the way, if you do visit us at the RaidCall EMS1 website, which you should do, go and check out the Cup 1 and Cup 2 if you missed them. All the VODs are on there as well. The schedule for what we're going to be bringing you is also on there. And... just as importantly, go and support the sponsors as well, because they put a lot of cash up for us to bring you these tournaments. You can also watch this on RaidCall itself. There's a little button on the right-hand side on the page of Cup 2, so just go and click it and check it out. See what you think of RaidCall. Let us know via Twitter and via Facebook as well, so you can join in with all the usual social media malarkey.
So we're going to get into the knife round here. Actually, it looks like Imaginary aren't quite ready to go. And we had that little patch last night, so hopefully everything kind of holds up here. I can already see that the GoTV server is not super smooth. Sadly enough, we had some issues with that one last night, but hopefully it can be smoother tonight. That would be really, really nice. But actually, Shoxy just left the server, so once he gets back in here, we will be able to kick off with the knife round, which Paul is going to commentate in his novelty voice of choice.
Really?
The novelty voice of choice.
Okay. Well, yesterday I actually had a compliment. Someone said that the casting it like a true 50s commentator from football was actually quite interesting. I'm not sure I agree. I preferred your horse racing attempt, frankly.
Yeah, I've got heartburn today. Got indigestion. Can't do it.
You know, if you've got suggestions for how we should commentate the knife rounds, just to make them a bit more interesting or a bit more fun, please let us know in the Twitch chat or via the social media channels, and we'll give it a go. Right now, though, we're man down, so 5 versus 4. is not going to work. And frankly, Imaginary probably do need 5 men on the server. So we are going to wait for them to get that last man up and ready. But, you know, as I said, if you've got any suggestions, drop them into the chat right now, and we'll take the best ones, and maybe we'll commentate that way. I do want to give a big of a shout out to an old mate of mine, Hellblinder, who's given me plenty to shout about and managed him in a team once as well, and shoutcasted him on some terrific stuff back in 2007 and 2008. He's tuned in live right now from Tokyo, and he's got up at 3 AM to watch this. So big up to me old mate Hellblinder.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, Paul, maybe that horse racing commentary.
Horse racing?
Maybe.
German horse racing.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's English or German at this point, because I'm wondering if a bit of horse meat's slipped into my diet today.
Wait, someone's come up with a cracking idea. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but someone has come up with an absolute monster idea in the Twitch chat of how I should commentate the knife round. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to tell you. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, hang on. There.
Ah, okay. No, the one above it's better.
No, German sex accent. No, I can't do it like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah, the knife round is very good, yeah.
Oh.
I'm allowed to do that because I live in Germany.
Yeah, and you can speak German.
Yeah.
Proper
So
German.
I can do a proper...
Not like mine.
I can do a proper
where
one.
people walk up to me and I go, tut mir leid, mein Deutsch is nicht gut.
And then like, well, obviously.
Yeah, and they go, yeah, it's shocking, actually. So yeah, let's not go down that way. But I have got a really good idea. So thank you to the person. I don't remember who it was in the Twitch chat, but when it comes up, you're going to know that that's what I've chosen. It's perfect as well because I don't have the best of voices this evening. You probably hear me. I'm a bit croaky because I'm full of German cold. Actually, it's not a German cold. It's a child cold from my children visit at the weekend to my kids in England, who seem to have infected me with something that's, well, they've probably picked up at school somewhere.
But they're going to school, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want them to not go to school, so, you know, colds aside, that's a good thing.
So we're just waiting for Shoxy to get himself back on the server. Actually didn't really see what they were saying about that. Incoming, apparently, so he should be here in just a few moments.
Yeah.
But apparently Ostriker didn't play for Imaginary yesterday.
No, he didn't, and it helped them.
Yeah.
I'm being really cruel to him, but they actually did well without him. I mean, you know, maybe he should not play more often.
Well, the funny thing is, Major and Ostriker are obviously two 1.6s from the French scene, and there was always a load of chopping and changing going on with their rosters. And Ostriker in 1.6, I'm not sure if it just carried through. Like, he got a lot of hate in the community. So hopefully he can turn up and do the goods here tonight for Imaginary. Otherwise, Epsilon are going through to their second final.
Yeah, and the points to go with it as well. They'll get at least 75 for second place, 100 for first, and 50. And it does look like we are
the knife, indeed,
going to go for the knife round. So yeah, here we go then. And they make their way up the middle area here, looking for reds and blacks and pinks, but finding nothing but silver blades in their way as the bludgeoning comes in now. That's a stunning little knife shot there from JW, and as they make their way forward here, their queuing action on these knives is absolutely spot on. I can't actually believe how well they've managed to bludgeon the team and win the round.
See, that's how I'd like to commentate all the time if people didn't find it too boring. We should actually go to snooker and give them our broadcast of a snooker game.
Can you imagine snooker casting?
And he's got a tee off! Oh my god, he's hit the white ball and he's hit 3 reds with it, Paul! I cannot believe it! Actually, it'd get really tiring, wouldn't it?
It would. But yeah, snooker would be so much more interesting. We should talk to someone about that.
Well, I am from Sheffield, so
yeah.
I could always worm my way into the Crucible. We are actually live here, so enough of the crap. Let's get into the real stuff as the first kill actually coming down here for Schneider. As Flusher actually watching out here on Banana. There was a smoke put down as GoTV is lagging like an absolute beast right now. Hopefully that fixes itself as JW there inside of CT Archway. There's only Shoxy left here, and the French side have really turned up and waved their white flags and gone home.
Yeah, only one man lost his lost his whole life in that round for the Epsilon team. And for a moment there we had Imaginary playing Imaginary, but that's all fixed as well now. So 1-0 to Epsilon, and I loathe to say it, but knife rounds on Inferno, not a big deal first time round. It's not like it's the end of the world, and less so on the CT bias maps, of course. But this one's relatively straightforward, relatively evenly matched, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. We've seen Epsilon in the past come back and win the second round with these crazy buys with their max and their shotguns. Not seeing anything crazy this time round for Imaginary. They've already lost 2. JW is going to dispose of both of them. And a nice array of weaponry as well amongst them. They're not going for the standards. MP5s, P90 in there as well. And Striker does pick up 1 kill amongst that, but Schneider's now doubled up as well, so just Major remaining at quad, and will get himself 1, might get himself a second, and does so, picks up the frag on JW, who's throwing away a weapon in order to try and pick up a better one, and that's enabled Major to pick up a double and a P90. And if he's smart here, you know, he might just get a bit more out of this and get this bomb planted. It's in his hands, white halls now. There is a man at the end of this balcony waiting for him. And he's now moved down into pits. Zalos down there. And now Major's going to have to use this flash intelligently. Pops it through the grate. Now puts one down. No, he doesn't put one down into the pit, so he's going to get hammered by Zalos down low. And strange decision. I have to say I would have expected him to have put one out wide and one down in the pit, but, well, he didn't know where he was and I did, so it was a lot easier for me to see.
Yeah, it would have been a lot different, actually, though. You're right with that, if you'd have dropped it in towards that pit. But either way, Epsilon starting off as they mean to go on here. 2 for 0. Not a bad round coming out for Imaginary. And we'll see what they've got to work with this round. And probably not going to be a whole lot. You can see there's the odd P250 in there, but mostly just with those Glocks. Good array of grenades. But we'll see if that really gives them any kind of opening going forward from this one. Smoke just leaking through the roof there. As Major has a bit of a peek down the hallways. HE will come flying through. Doesn't do any damage though. Everyone's still on a full 100 HP. That flash will stop them from pushing up just now though. And it is actually JW who's up the top of that staircase there. He's going to take down Uzi for the first kill. Here comes another flash around. That will only serve to slow Shoxy down. Schneider picking off Major as well. Flash going to come out here from Shoxy, who will blind himself more than anything there. It kind of clattered off the door frame and came straight in. JW taking another one. And can he finish off here? No, he can't. It's Shoxy who gets himself 2, actually. But that still leaves them a man down. 3 against 2. Striker up on the back stairs. And they have got this one on lockdown here. Epsilon not going to let them have a sniffing of getting this bomb planted. Well, the question is the range on this SMG going to come out to actually haunt them in the end? And as I say that, it's not going to whatsoever. And Epsilon finish up round number 3. 3 for 3 for them. But now Imaginary going to have weapons. Let's see what they can do. Yep,
they're now in AK City, thankfully. And the Frenchman's comeback has to start now. They've lost 3 in a row. They haven't been straightforward for Epsilon, but they've not really been troubled either. They just had that one round with Major picking up a double and losing a couple of men each round is sort of by the by, really. It's fine. As Zelos getting a little bit aggressive down on, well, not a little bit aggressive, very aggressive here at the bottom of Banana already, and he's going to surprise Mash surely, and does pick up the frag easily. JW's got himself one on Uzi around the other side of the map too, and Zelos now in mid. Well, super aggressive down Banana, and they did this yesterday as well. I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's their trademark right now, but they've become pretty normal pushes as we get a bit of lag. That's actually not me lagging, that's the Go server lagging. So it looks like we might well have a pause, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because we were at 5 versus 3, Imaginary already having lost 2. And this one not going well for them either, Joe.
No, and it was a great opener, actually. You know what I'm going to do, Paul? You know what I'm going to do?
Go on.
I'm going to draw some stuffs in blue when I get there. Brilliant. So, yeah, this whole push, it was Zelos who actually just legged it all the way down Banana.
Yep.
By the time he gets here, the first man had only just come up that T ramp. So they completely locked that area off. and they pushed in towards the balcony room as well. So they just locked them in instantly. You can see the positioning of Major, Striker, and Shoxy. They've hardly moved anywhere in this game. And look at the CTs. They're all pushed up. Now, this round's definitely going to be an Epsilon round, unless something really, really crazy happens, which just can't imagine.
It's interesting because, as I said, they did this yesterday. They did this last week on the finals day, and they did it the day before as well. So it's not like teams shouldn't know that the 4th round on a bye, Epsilon are particularly aggressive on CT side, and they seem to have done that quite a few times. So... yeah, that's a bit odd.
I'm just going to...
Yeah, let's check and see. Yeah, it does seem as if we've lost Locks, unfortunately, which is a shame because he was the guy who booted down. Maybe the server was like, hang on, this doesn't compute.
Yeah, didn't like it. It's
no.
Like, no, this can't work out. This can't be right at all. So, let's have a look. Let's hopefully... let's hopefully hope... which is great English, that he gets himself back in here shortly because, well, we've got a lot of games to cover tonight, quite frankly. If the best of 3 obviously goes all the way to 3 maps, could have ourselves a good midnight 1 AM show at this rate, Paul.
Indeed. Apparently the volume is quite low. I don't know if we can do anything about that, though, because we're kind of maxed out on that desk over there, aren't we?
Well, I could put it higher, but the problem is when we scream... It breaks things.
It kind of breaks things, yeah.
There is a volume slider on Twitch itself, which might actually help you guys out. If you, now some people do negate to realize that there is a volume slider on Twitch and also on your PC.
Volume is fine now.
Well.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
that's all right. Ignore me then.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, we have this pause because Lox has in fact disconnected from this one. So hopefully he is back, and in fact the admins over in Skype are telling me it is back and live again. So we're going to switch straight in there.
Good.
And hopefully, I was going to say not miss anything, but we missed the last 3 kills pretty much. But it was pretty clear anyway what was going to happen in that round. 4-0 for Epsilon.
And it didn't really matter that they'd lost Locks. You know, they were still dominant. They'd sort of suffocated Imaginary into about a quarter of the map at the bottom of it. So yeah, it was always going to be a bit of an ask for them to come back. But 4-0 and things going absolutely fine if you're a Swedish fan right now and hoping for that all-Swedish final.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's not looking good so far, at least for Imaginary, but it's a game of 2 halves, as they say. And you never quite know us. Locks pretty much wiping up there to start things off. Uzi did get one back in for Imaginary, but they're going to come into a brick wall there of M4s. As I say that, Shoxy going to take the head off Schneider, but Shoxy, much like that pistol round, will find himself as the last man left alive. JW going to drop off the roof. Here comes Zelos from the side. Got the AK. 5 rounds out of 5. Epsilon almost a third of the way to victory.
Yeah, already. Also, okay, yeah, that's the Locks leaving game. That's just catching up with the Go TV, so we can ignore that, which is good. Looks like the big green's going to be in play this round as well. And just having a look through IMG, they also have AWP in play with Mashes as well. So let's see, are we going to get the AWP versus AWP down mid? Locks is already trained and looking. There is a man down there. Ooh, he's not pulled the trigger on that one. And now he's going to have to go AWP to AWP, and it's Mashes who wins the AWP. Already JW and Schneider had combined to pick up 2 frags though, so they have the advantage of 4v3. And, well, if Hellblender's still watching, I'm pretty sure he's going to be turning right now. Because that wasn't good AWPing.
Well, the problem was he was aimed down to T-ramp, and the guy pops up and says, ah, well, crotch shot, if I even pull anything off from that. That's about as good as he could hope for. But Mash is still moving his way up that middle area.
It stopped them pushing, if nothing else, because they now know they can't just go running around there and start guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
And they've then become a bit more passive, which is exactly what they should be doing right now. Look at a nice setup, 2-man crossfire over towards the odd spot and CT Arch right now. There's no one at quad, so they could go that way. But no, Mashes is now going to creep towards JW. JW can fill his pants here with 2 of these kills very easily. Schneider's going to back him up now and picks off the first one. And look at this, JW knows exactly where his opponent is, and it is Mashes. Easy.
Too easy. But look at that. Last man alive again is Shoxy, as JW just nades himself, because he can. And a bomb is going to get planted, but Shoxy not going to be able to survive this one. They get in there. JW rushes to get the defuse and the points. He's 11 kills for 2 deaths right now. Great performance from the start. Epsilon make it 6 out of 6. They are looking absolutely fantastic in this one. There's the scoreboard for you, just to have a bit of a look. And as I said, 11 for 2 for JW, 9 4 on Schneider, Zelos 6 for 1, Flusher 2 for 0. Looks obviously disconnected after the first 4 or 5 rounds it was.
Yes.
He's currently 0 for 1. Over on the other side, Shoxy leading the way at 5 to 6. We'll get through the rest of them a little bit later on. But Imaginary really need to pull something out of the hat this time around, because it's just not working out for them so far. Everything they've tried has gone pear-shaped for them, and already this round, those early grenades have caused them some real problems. Ozstriker down to 71 HP, Major almost at half HP as well. So the early game here of this round, the early round, is very much in favour of Epsilon once again.
Certainly is. 1:05 remaining of round 7. Need something out of this, and they need it fast. What have they got? It's all a bit indecisive right now. There's nothing that's really impressing me about the T-sided strats of Imaginary. They're not really connected. They're not really pushing one way or the other. They're not committing to a bomb site early. They're not doing it late. I suppose they're staying alive this round, and that's the small bonus they've got. Now, are we going to get the push here? JW's waiting back in the white halls. Might just pick off their heads here. Easy kill. Easy kill. Should have got the second one, really. Uzi comes back in for the reply. They're exchanging frags left, right, and centre now. They've got an advantage of a man here, and they've got to make advantage count. 3 versus 2. Major now going to make his way in towards this pit as the bomb gets planted by Mashes in that A bomb site. And now, game on for the French. They've got to try and hold this one against 2 men who might as well go for this. They don't need to save the cash. They've got 6 rounds in the bag, plenty of money, and now Zelos makes his way round towards that pit. Can he get the first? Yes, he can. Second one is also down by the lorry inside pit. As his teammate now makes his way towards the bomb site as well. Is Mashes going to get one? He is going to get one. Now it's Zelos, all down to the last man standing. He's now down to his pistols. This isn't going to work. And Mashes finishes the last man off. And Imaginary Gaming finally get a round on the board.
Yeah, that delayed push coming up there through the apartments actually really caught Epsilon off guard. Yeah, JW got the first one, but there was a second one coming in with that man. There was one man running straight through after he jumped off through that balcony as well. So, nicely worked. Delayed push up through there, really helping secure that round for Imaginary. The question is, how are they going to turn one round that they've done well into a second one? That's what they really have to be working on here. Not just one round here, one round there, but really getting a consistent number of rounds on that board for them moving forward. Locks actually through the smoke in the middle there, exchanging a bit of fire. No damage though. JW the only one to take damage so far. There was Locks with that AWP. Hopefully his connection stays stable while he's got the AWP. They don't want him timing out halfway through the round. The flashes coming up towards that B site from Imaginary, but it looks like they are going to be pushing over towards A once again. 3 of them at least stacking up on that middle area. In fact, there are 3 there. There's 1 on alt mid as well. We're going to see more flashes coming in. Big blind coming out onto JW. More smokes coming around. Here comes the first push. Major gets destroyed there by Schneider. And I'm going to switch down a little bit because Schneider's the one that's going to be in trouble next. And he actually will go down to Uzi. Locks now coming around the side. AWP in hand. And he gets nailed through the smoke. Couldn't see anything going on there, but he managed to pull the shot off anyway. As JW goes down as well. Good grenade coming out. But Zelos is picked off. It's now all on Flusher, who's inside of the library. Did get a slight peek of Ozstriker, but not got the reactions of a Tiger to pull that one off. There's another grenade in. Done damage to Shoxy, but Shoxy just turns around, nails him in the head. 2 rounds in a row for Imaginary. Whatever they've said in that little pause that we had earlier on seems to be working off nicely for them.
Yeah, we always talk about pauses, don't we? As sometimes affecting the leading team more than the team that are behind. It gives them a chance to recoup and start talking a few strats and calming people down that are a bit nervous perhaps, or G'ing people up that aren't G'd up. And whatever it was, Imaginary have got a bit more confidence, and it is a momentum game after all. Major's going to pick up the first one. Actually, it was stolen away by Uzi from second mid, and JW getting all excited down White Halls, pushing fast. Snyder was with him as well, and he'll pick up the revenge on Major. So 1 for 1. That's fine for either team. I don't think they'll care too much about that. And we're now at a 4v4. Minute and 5 remaining of round 9. And nice drawing. As you can see right now, we've got a sort of weird split. They're not really together, but they're not too far apart. They can call this either way yet. Still plenty of time. 50 seconds remaining. Striker sitting mid with bomb. Uzi's not far away from getting tagged here by Locks, and he can probably see an arm, and just starts firing off. Clips Uzi down to 78, but that's not going to make any difference to him. Shoxy, meanwhile, they've made a really quick push. Round the corner, they've gone through CT Archer. There's a double of them. Lox has decided he's not having any of that with the Famis and has locked down Uzi, but Shox has somehow ninjaed his way into the library. He's now going to get a face full of grenade and then a face full of Zelos. No, Zelos replying back, wasn't able to do that one quick enough, and Shoxy picks up the headshot. And now the rotation is all the way through towards the B bomb site. Flash into ruins from Shoxy. Should be able to pick up an easy kill. Meanwhile, Mashes and Striker have combined and picked up 2 more. Only Schneider has remained and picks up 2 in a row. Can he get the 3rd in a row here? Oh, that would have been absolutely brilliant. And 14 health points is all that Shoxy has left for a 3rd consecutive round for the French.
No, well, that's exactly what they needed to do. Falling 6-0 behind, winning 3 in a row. That's going to hurt Epsilon in their cash situation. This will actually be an eco, you know, first proper eco of the game, and of course it falls to me to cast it as per usual. Nothing new there. So you're going to see Flusher actually going aggressive here, down Banana.
You know what happens if we switch it up and I cast this round?
We just get double ecos.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's just what happens, sadly enough. I'm fine though. I enjoy eco rounds just
You
as
are the
much
king of ecos,
as
Joe.
any other ecos, as any other rounds. Either way, you see Imaginary keeping it very, very slow here. They're not going to risk anything at this point, even though they're against a team with only pistols. We know how strong the pistols are in CSGO and how many times already through what's been a fairly short competitive history, how many rounds we've seen being turned on the heads from these eco scenarios. The Zealous actually up on the balcony there.
Hello.
Where is he?
That's
Let's
the double
get around
boost.
him.
It's the double boost on top of the balcony.
It's too slow,
should have done better than that, really.
Yeah, only got himself 1 from that. Oh, we are seeing JW coming in around the side now, going to clip Uzi down. Can he get Major as well? No, he can't. It's now all on Flusher, who's coming in from Library. Actually did get 1, but both Striker and Shoxy were still in there, and they were actually moving into a position to pincer him up. And that will be 10 rounds down. 6-4. 4 on the bounce as well for Imaginary.
Yeah, it's a totally different game now. 6-0, we were sort of going, oh, this could be a quick game. This could be over quite quickly indeed. But not going to happen like that. The French putting up some resistance here in this semi-final of the EMS, RaidCall EMS 1. Cup number 2 of $4,000 up for grabs in this particular cup alone, from a grand total of 156,000 throughout the 4 seasons that we've got planned for RaidCall EMS 1. And don't forget, you can watch this via RaidCall and chat with your friends at the same time. Just click on the button on the EMS website. The semi-final is nicely poised right now, and nicely paused.
Paused.
Yep, nicely paused, unfortunately. So we do have another drop by the looks of things, and yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? But these things will happen, of course. But I think the other side of it is that 6-4, it's very even right now, and the Imaginary win this one, and it really is a game on. And you almost feel that if the Swedes win this one and get it back to 7-4, they might just go on a bit of a tear again and roll this one out 11-4. So I think this is a really big round.
Well, this is the thing as well, the pause situation we were talking about before, that it can help a team that's behind to come back. He can throw a team off that's in the lead, but it remains to be seen. We don't know exactly what the problem is just yet. Hopefully we'll get the information from our lovely admins about that one. Apparently Imaginary asked for a pause from that, so that's exactly why we have a pause. Don't know why they asked for a pause, but they did ask for a pause, and they get it as well.
Yep, and no one's dropped, so that's the good news, which means that as soon as they're ready to go back live, we'll go back live with them. So there we go. If you have got any questions, of course, pop them into the Twitch chat. If we see them, we'll answer them. And you can also contact us at Joe Miller. And
at Joe
Miller, because he couldn't get Joe Miller. Not swift enough.
That guy with his 140 followers.
And I've got at Paul Challoner, because at Red Eye is actually a diamond merchant of some kind who won't let me have it.
It's nice of him.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy diamonds, don't buy them from Red Eye. That's all we'll say. Anyway, we've got flashes coming up here in the middle area. And, well, it really was only flashes for the start. A couple more coming around. Imaginary still not making a big push of this one just yet. They've got two men in the hallways. And actually, Epsilon's defensive position here is really weird because there's no one at all covering pit as far as I can see. No, they're all pushed up here on that middle line. So if they come through apartments now, they're only going to have those two men on the one side to really deal with. His Mash is going to take down JW. Got Major over the other side as I try and switch around, but nope. Mouse just not going to let me with that one. There we go. Seems to have become unstuck. But this is what I'm talking about. Look, Imaginary, they've just walked straight through the apartments now, and they're going to get that bomb down. Question is if they can hold on to it after. Oh, Shoxy's come off the plant there. Luckily for him, they actually chopped Locks down as he came into the site, and it leaves just Flusher. But Major's got 1 HP. Ozstriker got 17. Forget Major, he's already out of it. And it's Shoxy with 100% of his health remaining. Let's see if they can do the same here. There we go. He's got to get in, but not quite finishing off. Actually, he did kill Shoxy, but Ozstriker at the side with his 17 health managed to pick up the kill. Either way, 5 rounds in a row for the Frenchman. They're almost bringing us to a tied game.
This one is suddenly a lot closer than we thought it was going to be. The runaway train that was Epsilon Razor in those first 6 rounds has been almost completely mimicked by Imaginary Gaming. Victors over Very Games in the quarterfinal yesterday in this cup are now just a round behind. And I guess I have to eat my own words because having Ozstriker back has obviously made them better.
Yeah, looks like it, doesn't it?
He can give me grief on Twitter, it's fine. I don't mind the abuse. I had abuse from Heaton last week as well for saying that Nick were crap at pistols.
No one listens to that guy anyway.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
Ian,
I mean, you know, what sort of legend does he think he is? So, Ozstriker here at the top of Banana will... Actually, this does look like a hit on Banana. They haven't really had any success in here. But this time, again, Welcome Mat was rolled out, but the bullets were also rolled out this time by Zelos inside the site. He's been a bit of a nuisance back in those ruins in previous matches, so this is his spot. We might actually have to call them the Zelos Ruins. Meanwhile, Lox has picked himself up a second. Mashes now, the man replies back and will now get an equalising frag. Major then picks up a third. They're now slicing through them. And Mashes gets himself another, and that'll be 4 in the round from him as the game is now officially a tied match.
Game on, no question. 6 rounds apiece in a row for both teams. That just makes you wonder, all right, then who's going to have the remaining 3? The way it's going, you know, that momentum swing that we've seen happen in this game, you definitely say that Imaginary going to have more chance at this point of putting 3 rounds in a row at the end of his first half. Actually, Mash is taking a good chunk of damage there, down to 68 HP. And Imaginary going to be sneaking their way in. Looks like a middle push from them as the grenades go out. But they continue to sit back and wait. Smoke's deployed. Will certainly mean that they're not going to go blind through it into that middle area. 1 minute 6 remaining. They're going to have to wait a good 15 seconds here before they can really get their play set up. However, Smoke's going to be pulled. There we go. Smoke now clear. Flash is going in over the top as well. And we are going to see that push coming straight around from Imaginary. Actually, Uzi going to flash his teammate out there, which not sure what they really meant to do, but they've managed to pick up the first kill onto the man here at that CT archway. There's 2 kills coming back now for Epsilon, and this push through the balcony has not come in quick enough for them. They had the opportunity to hit them at both sides at once, and they failed to take that one. And Epsilon surely going to be picking up this round. Mash is now the last man left alive. He's going to be sandwiched from both sides. Picks off Schneider. Can he do any more here, though? There are 3 remaining. He needs all three to be taken down straight away as he just looks. The second that he was coming around there from that middle area, away from him, misses the shot onto Flusher. Crucially, still alive, but with only 7 seconds remaining. Bomb is down in the A-bomb site. And there's a red bra and thong on the line. Never noticed that before. And he's dead. See, he was looking at the panties.
It is funny how you can play this game a multitude of times and still see something new in the graphics.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that that's what you spotted.
And when it's bras, it's just all that more joyful, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Especially when they're filled. Epsilon leading 7-6 then. And have stopped that rot of the 6 in a row that both teams have enjoyed so far in this first of our 2 semi-finals. We'll be having the second one after this as well, so you won't miss any action from the remaining games in this RaidCall EMS 1 Cup 2. And on a save now are the French, and well, they might as well save, I guess. They could have partially bought this round, but then they would have definitely had to have saved for 15, so it makes more sense that they try and get something out of this round, and then are fully able to buy in 15. Less than a minute to go, and nothing done so far. Quiet round.
Don't pass it to me, I'm not commentating.
I was going to say, no, it's all on me, this eco. I don't mind eco so much in CSGO because, as you rightly said earlier, they're not always as predictable as you might have thought in previous versions of the game. And Epsilon have been known to mix things up with the ecos. I mean, what have Imaginary got now? They've got 2 set low. If they can pull this off and put Torn Balcony at the same time without JW seeing, which he does, no blindness from him whatsoever, picks up 2, Schneider steals the 3rd away. Major and Uzi did get themselves a frag in there, but it's not going to make any difference. And Epsilon raise a move to 8-6 in the lead now with the final round of the half due, and you wouldn't back against them.
No, but it's really hard to call because obviously we had this 6 rounds in a row for one team, 6 rounds in a row for the other. Now it's 2 rounds in a row for Epsilon. So statistically, Epsilon should win this round. But different scenario to just looking at the stats, obviously, as we are seeing Locks here sniping down middle. Mash does have an AK actually, so no AWP here in the hands of Imaginary. And Locks is actually going to get himself an opportunity. He will get clipped. About a quarter of his HP being taken off there. But crucially still alive for that AWP to do the damage later on in the round. We are of course down to the last one, so everyone buying up what they can from this. They've taken over the front side of balconies. But exactly how much is that really going to be offering them here? We saw the delays push coming up from there earlier on. Mash has actually worked his way through that middle area completely. There's a smoke down. Locks is just around the corner from him. With that AWP, he's going to have to be very quick on the finger here. And Mash is actually looking off to that left-hand side. He's heard Locks there. And we've got to pause later on in the game. I'd love to be able to keep the tense moment right now, but, well, I just can't. That's Paul's fingernails drumming a very unsatisfied drum on the desk.
I hate pauses.
I do as well. But I suppose online tournaments, it's always going to happen. You're always going to have
We've
pauses.
had more in this game than we had in the entire cup so far.
Yeah, we didn't have any yesterday, actually.
We only had 1 last week as well. We play some solitaire?
But I don't know why they would have paused in the half-time anyway.
Oh,
Here we go then. Well, it didn't last too long, as JW actually will come out the corner. And, well, Mash gets destroyed from that one. But it's a 2-for-1. Now we have 4 men left for Epsilon. Make that 3 men. As Ellis did take down Shoxy, but we still have Oz Striker alive. And he's going to give himself the biggest chance possible, which is almost getting the bomb down. And Schneider comes in and chops him down. That's 9-6 then at the half-time. Good halves called between these 2 teams. And there's a scoreboard for you as well, obviously. Got some good time in between to kill from that one. So quick rundown of the scores then. Schneider 19 for 11, JW 19 for 9, Zelos 10 for 9, Flusher 8 for 7, And Locks 5 for 8, obviously did disconnect earlier on. Over on the other side, for Imaginary, Mash on 12 for 12, Shoxy 11 for 12, Ozstriker 8 for 12, Major 8 for 14, and Uzi 7 for 13.
Yeah, good half as well overall. And 9-6 I think is probably about right. I mean, 8-7 would have been fine as well in terms of what we've seen. But an interesting first half. 6 in a row if you weren't with us and you're just joining us. 6 in a row from Epsilon from the start, and then 6 in a row from Imaginary, and then 3 more at the end. So it wasn't a backwards and forwards game as we might have expected. Instead it was pretty one-sided for both teams as we went through. So it does look as if we're going to get back into the second half pretty quickly, which is great.
Oh, Imaginary just said one's AFK, give us a second, but I thought I had to get my pen out there because they were going to end up restarting and losing the score, but doesn't, fingers crossed, seem to be the case at this point. So what are we going to see then? Epsilon looking like they want to go straight up middle with this one. No messing around whatsoever. Double flash straight over the top into that A-bomb site, and they've come completely around. They're going to get pushed from the backside here, though. That's the danger of rushing straight in and not going through those apartments as well. Imaginary that getting one with Major. Ozstriker still up, and we're left with a 2-on-2 scenario. Locks headed back, and they're all over the place. Look at the map here. Oh, we're going to see Flusher meeting up here with Ozstriker as Locks is going to take down Shox. And now we have Ozstriker versus Locks for the round. Locks is not messing around here in terms of noise. He's going to go straight in there, gets a good shot out onto Ozstriker, who's down to just 11 HP. And I think Locks realizes that he's hit him hard there and has started to run away towards that CT archway. The question is he going to back off? Is he going to call his bluff here and turn around and just shoot him as he comes through? No, he's going for it. He wants that plant. He's got 2 flashes and a HE as well as he puts the bomb down. Ozstriker, no grenades. And that one grenade, if it had been held out a little bit longer, would have been enough to kill him. And he's gone past that back entrance. This could be interesting. If Ozstriker flanks around now. Okay, Locks has changed his position, so he should be safe from that. Ozstriker going to move in there. Actually has started the defuse. Locks leaving it very late here. He's going to peek out, though. Gets the shot onto him. And Ozstriker, if he'd have been full HP, that might have been a different ending. But either way, Epsilon going to be taking the second pistol of this game.
Yeah, and it's funny, actually. The start of that round, I thought Imaginary might take this because it seemed like they'd been watching some Epsilon demos because, again, I'm going to point it out, it's a fairly obvious strat. They've done that strat a few times in this tournament already. So it wasn't a shock to see them pushing up mid very quickly with those triple flashes over the top and then rushing in towards that A-bomb site. But Imaginary, to their credit, were actually ready for it. They had 2 men who were already in boiler behind them, which Epsilon didn't check because they were too busy running around the back. And I thought at that point that Imaginary might just pick up this round, but wasn't to be. And the Swedes lead by 4 now. We've lost a man apiece in round 17. Obviously the French still on eco. And every man they can pick up will be a bonus. Got that usual mixture of weapons again. The P90 in Schneider's hand. And he fires here for Zelos. And JW is going to cover him here. They've set up that crossfire nicely at the top, but I'm not so sure they're going to push this way. They might just go back towards Banana here, and it does look like Schneider with the bomb. He's going to go Banana now, so they haven't got time to switch this one around. This is going to be a commitment to the B bomb site. One man is on that site right now. He's been missed by Flusher the first time round, then gets down, gets a second chance at it. It was almost like Major didn't even see him going to the site, and Shoxy has got himself a frag as well. So we're at 3 versus 3. This isn't a done deal yet. Schneider's only got 13 health right now. Oh, but now Shoxy's down to 10. Down to nothing, actually. Flusher and Schneider combine. And this will be an Epsilon raise round. No doubt about it. Shoxy's going to be belted down by Zelos. And that'll be an easy victory in the end. But could have been a bit different.
Yeah, it could have been different. That 3-on-3 at the end, but you have to give credit to Zelos from that backside there. He did such great damage when those 2 CTs gave him the opportunity, and that's really what gives them the big advantage in that situation. Either way, we are going to see Imaginary with a good few grenades once again.
So if this follows form, then Epsilon win this round, because that will have been their 6th round in a row.
That's true.
Just saying.
the pendulum swings. Next round. Not this one.
Correct.
Which would make sense considering the economic scenario that we have as well. However, first kill, of course, did go to Imaginary. So it could be about who breaks that, 6-round curse that's going on is going to be able to win the game.
Yep. You've heard of 7-year itches. Well, this is the 6-round itch.
Yeah. You can hear all quiet right now. The flash goes off, but neither team wanting to give any positions away. Major's going to actually come face to face here with JW in just a second. Wow, what a reaction shot there from JW. And a second one coming in on towards Uzi, absolutely destroying him. They're going to take position. Bomb is there with them in that A bomb site. And this is all but a done deal right now as JW again picks up another shot, firing off exactly as Mash comes around the corner. Brilliant prediction. There's his second opportunity there. Shocks will actually get the better of him. And it's now going to be 2 versus 2. Flusher in the site itself. Our striker gets dropped. And there is Flusher finishing off Shoxy. And that will be 3 rounds in a row, or 6 rounds in a row, technically again for Epsilon. Which, as we said, should give us an imaginary win in this next round. If fate is to be believed.
Yeah, if, Greek mathematical systems work their magic through the gods of Counter-Strike, then this should be 12-all in the next 6 rounds. But who knows? I'll tell you who does know.
We might have a pause.
Yeah, I think we might have a pause. Do you know what? I think it's paused.
Well, I hope it's not crashed.
Yeah, I think it's paused.
Good
Sorry to sound sort of so down about it, but,
I just hate pauses. I think they break up the flow of the game a lot. Well, I mean, it's not like you can really help it. If one player's dropped, you're going to have a pause at the end of the round, obviously. The way that GoTV works, in all its greatness, has still got its flaws. And those flaws are, in fact, the pause. Because you get a pause in the middle of a round, not at the end of one. Well, you've got time. Either way, let's have a look down the scoreboard here. We've not done that yet here in the second half. I need to keep pressing it more often. So anyway, for Epsilon, we have Schneiders 22 for 12, as is JW. Zelos 13 for 11, Flusher 11-8, and Locks 8 for 10. For Imaginary, Mash on 13 for 15, Shoxy 14-15, Ozstriker 10 for 15, Major 11 for 17, and Uzi on 7 for 16.
Just a note for those of you who are looking at the screen thinking, that's crashed. It hasn't. When it crashes, everything stops, including the counter. The counter actually carries on GoTV when it's paused, which is how we know it's paused and not crashed.
Sad faces all around.
Sad face. What are you going to do, though, eh? What are you going to do?
Well, there's nothing you can do. That's it. I mean, if people drop, their internet might be sucky the whole night, which might mean whoever it is that's dropping constantly is going to have to... he's going to cause us a few annoyances through the course of the night. But at the end of the day, the points are on the line, the cash is on the line. Everyone fighting here for a place at the end in those LAN finals here for the RaidCall EMS 1. But right now, it's only 12-6 to Epsilon.
Looking forward to the second game as well.
Yeah, the second game going to be Nip versus 3D Max.
Yep.
And here we go, we're back in. Patience a virtue in this situation. But this is, of course, the first gun round of this game. And, well, it started out a little bit explosive there as Imaginary managed to get themselves 3 kills.
Just Flusher and JW left. JW's been in a ton of form, though, tonight already. He's picked up over 20 kills in the game. And is now going to make his way forward to get downed by Uzi. I just gave him the commentator's curse. Sorry about that, JW. And Flusher, who's also had a good game tonight, by the way. That's him screwed now. But no, it does actually work against him. So he has picked up a frag on Mashes, who has dealt a whole load of pain to him. I mean, he's only on 12 health now. If he comes across Shoxy, who's got AWP in hand, he's only got 8 points of health, though, because he might just pick this off. And instead, he's going to take a very interesting exit kill strategy here. 30 seconds to go. If he gets away with this one, he's better than Houdini. And you can see Shoxy just through the other side of the wall as one man makes his way out towards that area now. And Flusher does pick up the frag, but Shoxy would have got the frag if he just moved a couple of centimetres. As it is, he's not going to get away with it this time. Striker finding him as he came in towards that bomb site. And that will be an imaginary round. Not an imaginary round that they've won, an imaginary gaming round that they've won, which sets us back on our course of winning 6 rounds in a row.
I think it's actually imaginary that are having the problems as well. They seem to be the ones asking for the pauses every time, so hopefully whatever the problem is on their end will be sorted out. So AWP there missing early on from Shoxy. He gets instantly smoked and flashed out. It's going to force him to back completely away from his position. There's a decoy grenade up middle.
I've seen many of them.
Well, when it's in the middle of the path right next to him, it's kind of like, well...
I bought that by mistake.
It's a decoy. Epsilon taking things slowly again this round. As the smokes go out to middle. Right hand side going to be completely smoked out. Flashes going into the site itself. And this is a similar strat, albeit slower from what we saw them earlier on in the tournament. It's Imaginary going to come up there with 2 very quick kills. Schneider is going to come in around the side and mop it back to a 3-on-3. Everyone's still high on health. Not many grenades left around though. Schneider going to make it 3 kills this round. Takes down Uzi. Going to get the bomb planted. And he's picking up MVP anyway this round, however it goes. As now we see Lox pick off Striker as well. Shoxy around the side, but he's got 1 shot to hit here. He's got that AWP. You miss that shot, they're going to pin you down and take you out. He's actually going to make a run for it here. But for how long is he going to survive? That's the question. That AWP in hand is going to set up here at that CT archway. He's missed his shot. Can he get away from it? He's on top of the pergola. Schneider is going to pick him off for the end. Pergola. That's what we call them up north.
Really?
I think it's technically a veranda, but they call them pergolas.
I don't know. Rafted roof with moss on. Don't know what we call them. Not sure. 13-7 anyway. This is the first semi-final of the RaidCall EMS 1 Cup 2. Epsilon defending their title in many respects because they won last week, of course. Picked up the 100 points and the first prize of $600. And they're trying to make it 2 out of 2. It's 1 for 2 so far. Zelos actually comes in with a lovely little double. And Flusher will pick up the 3rd. They almost lost more men, but just JW, the fallen hero of the Epsilon side, on an eco. And that'll put Epsilon within 2 points of match victory.
Yeah, and that swing, that whole 6 rounds here, 6 round there, has now been broken.
Yeah, do you know what it's also done? It's also given me the ecos.
It's fine by me. That is fine by me. Let's see if they can move up here, Epsilon, onto match point. Oh, great stuff from Shoxy. Lox was actually up close and personally was zoomed in there with the crosshairs. JW going to take down Masher, and we can see that they said, right then, but AWP's on Banana. We're going to hit this A bomb site as fast as we possibly can. Major doing a good job to stop that one in its tracks. Uzi going to nail Zelos to the wall as well. JW actually going into library to try and split any defense off here. Shoxy going to drop Flusher at close range as well. And JW is now last man left alive. And he's going to play Ring Around the Roses here with Shoxy, who gets the better of him. Great round from Shoxy. He rightly picks up the MVP for that one. And, well, that's 14-8. Imaginary not out of this one, though. We know that they can put rounds on the board against Epsilon, but is it just too many that they need at this stage?
Yeah, I personally think it is. I think they've given Epsilon too much of a head start here, with 6 rounds being the difference, but we'll see. Shoxy with AWP in hand now, having had that good round in the last one. Can he get another couple of plays? Yes, he can! Pixel perfect shot on Lox. And he's got a 3-man rush coming towards his bomb site. He's not going to be able to cope with them, though. And Zelos gets himself a double headshot inside the B bomb site. Bomb will be planted here quickly. And if anything, Epsilon are much more decisive on T side than Imaginary were. And it's paying dividends for them right now. 4 versus 3. Bomb planted. Advantage Sweden. about to move to match point. Can Uzi, Mashes and Major come back and save them from disaster? No, they can't. Major drops. Uzi and Mashes now. Uzi goes down to the gun of Zelos, who picks up himself a 4th in the round. Can he get the 5th? No, stolen away by a flusher. And that is match point. Epsilon 15, Imaginary 8.
They've totally called their bluff with that one. They knew that Choxy was going to be open banana. They smoked and flashed it enough to delay him getting in position for that first initial pick. And they've got straight in on top of him. That's what you need to do, is close that AWP down. And you know that you've got then only one, sometimes not even one man behind him, because you have to be able to trust that AWP player to lock off the small bomb site here on Inferno, which, you know, Epsilon really exploiting in that round. The question is, can they pick up the victory here and move on to their second consecutive final? There's actually a man off to the left here, which they've not spotted early enough. Schneider actually gets one, but it's Major who gets the double inside of those hallways, and there's the element of surprise working perfectly for you. So Striker takes the grenade damage. Locke's not got the aim to quite pick him off there on his retreat. And that leaves us at 4 on 3. Still anyone's round though, especially with these 3 players from Epsilon still on full health. Smoke coming down, actually getting nailed from behind there. Smoke will stop that vision. Striker is still camped in behind there. They're going to nail him though. That was Flush who got the headshot onto him. Bomb will get planted here as well, unless something goes really bad for him. They're actually holding off on that. I think because they don't have that back exit covered just yet. As Locke's going to peek around from the wall. Shoxy can adjust his position quick enough to get the kill. But they're kind of pinned in here. They've got one man to the left. They're going to have men coming from the front and that right-hand side as well of Banana. And they've left it too long here, I feel. I fear, at least, from them. Let's see what we can do.
Love the wall shots through from Ruins as well.
He's going to go here, Flusher in for that plant, though. And actually, he's going to pull the plant off here. Shoxy going to go down in the end, but not after getting one of his own. And we see Imaginary run themselves in here. No kit, actually, with Major. But it's fine. Mash had one, and Major wanted the points.
A sharp intake of breath there, I thought. That was perfectly lined up with a nice bit of recoil control to pick himself up all 3 kills. Not to be, though. Didn't have the health. And match point number 1 is saved by Imaginary Gaming. Epsilon now leading 15-9. And they're okay money-wise for now. Should be okay this one and possibly even the next one as well. As they are set. One of the things I've liked about Epsilon tonight is that they've been very positive on T side. Much more so than Imaginary, who were a little bit iffy at times, especially in those first 6 rounds. It seemed to take them a bit of time to get going. You can see the cash there should be okay for the next round. So they've got one more chance after this. They can be a little bit more risky if they want. But instead they're playing this one passive. They've got a 3-2 split right now. Schneider and JW just trying to work those white holes. In fact, Schneider's pushed his way all the way through to Boiler. But he's going to exit back out through balcony now. So this isn't going to be quite the push I thought it was going to be. Although they're going to try and smoke CT Arch from here. Different approach this one from Schneider. He knows exactly where to place that smoke for CT Arch. And Flash is now gone. Here they go then, in towards. It's a perfect smoke. Look at that smoke right inside CT Arch. That basically shuts one player down. Schneider runs all the way round. Does take a little bit of blind inside. Now a striker comes round from behind though. They forgot about him almost. And picks up the first kill. They're exchanging 1-for-1s here. But now Epsilon have the advantage. Locks and Schneider pick off 2. Uzi and Major now. Last 2 men alive to save the game. And Bomb is not on site right now. Uzi nailing a headshot onto Schneider. It's now a 2 versus 2. Little bit discoordinated this time round from the Swedes. Now Flusher comes in with the kill on Major. Last man alive inside the pit area was Uzi. Wasn't any longer. Locks claims the frag. And Epsilon move into the grand final for the 2nd consecutive week. 16-9.
Some interesting chat going on there as well in the end. Which, actually, Schneider saying, we're actually at LAN. We're boot camping in an internet cafe. So, suppose they are technically at LAN. But obviously, that's what everyone's been calling for. Copenhagen Games, they will be seen on LAN. So,
yes,
I suppose we reserve any judgment until that kind of area, until that event comes along. But that's it for our first semi-final. Of course, we are going to have Ninjas in Pajamas taking on 3D Max here in just a few minutes. But, a good game. A good game.